Reading Fluency in Grades 2 to 3, a literature review presentation by Crowell. My initial research question was, what are the best strategies to improve the reading fluency of second and third grade students who are reading below grade level? When deciding on my topic, I considered different things, but ultimately I landed on fluency. I have previously been a classroom teacher in grades 2 and 3, and this year I am a title reading teacher working with those grades. Each year, my classroom was full of students with differing needs. One year, I had a class of 20, with students ranging in reading levels from kindergarten to 4th grade. My students received interventions, but nothing seemed to work. After digging deeper, I found that fluency seemed to be the issue. Many of my struggling students would read word by word in a monotone voice, not paying attention to punctuation. By the time they finished reading a page, they would have no idea what they had read, which led me to my topic of fluency. I have read many theoretical articles about reading, and many have made connections between fluency and comprehension. With a background of a 3rd grade teacher in Ohio, I also knew that students need to be reading fluently and understand what they are reading by 3rd grade in order to pass Ohio's mandated 3rd grade reading guarantee. Looking at the data, in 2017, Ohio had 39% of 4th and 8th grade students performing at or above reading proficiency. While this number is up from previous year's reports, this is still not acceptable. In the United States, 36% of 4th grade and 35% of 8th grade students were at or above the proficiency level. These numbers show what many of us already know. The majority of our students are not proficient in reading. Studies have shown that oral reading fluency helps to build a foundation for reading competency, and fluent reading helps build reading comprehension. In the history of reading instruction, many different definitions of fluency have been floated around. Most definitions describe fluency as words correct per minute. However, many more recent articles have discussed the need to add expression or prosody to the definitions. For my literature review, I went with the definition of speed, accuracy, and expression of student reading, as stated in the articles by Fuchs et al. In 2001 and by Kuhn and Stahl in 2003. Research also discusses the need to more explicitly teach fluency in classrooms, as they have found that it is not being taught explicitly. Through my research, I have found 4 key interventions that have been proven to show student growth. These interventions include repeated readings, listening while reading, reader's theater, and video self-modeling. Research has shown reader's theater to be effective, especially in helping students with their reading expression, as they can practice it many times and take on a character's persona. Many studies have compared the effects of repeated reading with other interventions, and repeated reading has proven to be most effective overall. However, listening while reading has proven to be the most effective without needing an adult to help it be implemented. Melanie Kuhn and Timothy Rosinski are researchers that are important stakeholders, as both of them have done many research studies about reading fluency. Important stakeholders in the community would be classroom teachers, title and intervention teachers, as they're the ones in the field working with students on their reading abilities. And our students are stakeholders, as they are the ones who need to be taught how to read for their future careers. Lastly, the educational world as a whole is an important stakeholder in order to understand what has been researched, what still needs to be researched, and what can be implemented to help our students achieve reading proficiency. Future research regarding reading fluency should include identifying effective teaching strategies for classroom teachers to use, identifying guided reading methods to support reading fluency, and continuing to compare repeated reading with other fluency interventions to see which is more effective. Current research has shown repeated reading continues to win out compared to other interventions. However, there are many other interventions that could also be researched. Research questions for future research include: which intervention method is more effective in improving students' reading fluency? Push-in, where the interventionist or title teacher comes into a classroom to assist or provide intervention, or pull-out, where the interventionist or title teacher pulls students out of the classroom to provide intervention. And does the repeated reading intervention help students in the long term with their reading abilities? Current research has shown that repeated reading does help to improve students' reading fluency, but studies should also be done on the long-term effects.